Arkham building. Seems pretty obvious that Harley Quinn is involved.
Happy Halloween, YouTube! This is Chase from Burnout Inc., and I'm here to present my very first custom action figure. This is Harley Quinn from Batman Arkham City, Harley Quinn's Revenge. Now, as you can tell, this does not look like the, quote, normal Harley Quinn's Revenge. This is actually the battle damage version, which you see her look like later on in the DLC campaign. You see it very, very briefly, but it was so weird. When I saw it, it just struck a weird visual kind of... it was just a really unique visual to see, and I was just like, okay, you know, I know a lot of people have done a custom Harley Quinn of this so far, but has anyone ever done a battle damage version of this? So I thought I would just go ahead and give this a try because, A, I had already ruined this figure once, and the paint wasn't turning out the way I wanted to, so I just went ahead and decided, okay, let's go ahead and try the battle damage version. And I already bought another Harley Quinn at Hastings, which I will make a regular Harley Quinn's Revenge. So key noticeable differences is, of course, the paint apps are supposed to look a little messy. There's some gray in here and some kind of rubbing I did with some sandpaper to make it look really rough, because she does kind of get into an explosion, or in an explosion, I should say. And her veil is kind of ripped apart because of the explosion as well, and she does have a lot of ash and stuff all over her uniform. She's got a lot of blood on her, and at the end she does try to stab somebody with a knife. Couldn't really find a knife that looked like the one that she used, so I just went ahead and gave her this basic black military knife. But let's take a look at the job I did. So starting with the head sculpt on here, and let's see if I can get that to focus a little better. There we go. So here is her head sculpt. Let me lift up her veil, which, yeah, I can do that, if it'll stay. She does have some blood on the top of her forehead and kind of around her lip area. She's got her makeup that she has in the game, and there's a lot of black and gray washes I added to it to make it look like she was kind of crying and that she had, you know, just ash and stuff like that, because, you know, getting thrown out of a building while it's exploding does tend to ruin one's makeup. Same thing in her hair. There's a lot of gray tones to it instead of just straight black and red because of the ash. Something that happened to this figure that was really disappointing was I tried removing the head sculpt or the head and switching it out with another figure that was a little bit more pristine, or perfect, I should say. And the little ball joint on the neck snapped off, so I had to completely rebuild the neck joint in here with some epoxy and some wire. And while I was trying to fix the head, this part of her little, God, I can't think of it, her pigtails on the right side, her left side, sorry, her left, my right, the red side, it just completely came off, and I was just like, oh man, what the hell else could go wrong with this figure? So again, I took some wire and some epoxy, and I just jammed this thing in there and super glued the hell out of it, so it is not going anywhere. It does kind of bend a little bit, but yeah, it ain't going nowheres. And like I said, her veil was going to be all the way across her face, but I had to cut it in kind of a diagonal shape because that's how it looks at the end of the game. I did add a second piece of lace on here because her veil in the game, it's got the mesh, and then it's got like that flowery kind of mace, freaking A. What the hell's wrong with me? Okay, it's got that flowery lace material going across here, but didn't really turn out the way I wanted to. You can still kind of see it, but it's not really defined. Oh well, it's there. Added a lot of black and gray washes to her skin tones and some blood, just kind of all around there. And yeah, for, you know, what it is, I think it turned out pretty good. especially for my first custom. I mean, there's a lot more that could have gone wrong with this thing. In fact, a lot did go wrong with my first Harley Quinn custom. Tried taking off some face paint and ended up erasing her entire paint job, like her eyes, everything, and it was kind of dripping plastic. It was, ugh, it was nasty. Anyway, yeah, this is the battle damage Harley Quinn from Batman Arkham City, Harley Quinn's Revenge. Oh, yeah, one more thing I should point out. I decided not to sand off the wrist cuffs and make the little frilly-looking... God, why can't I think of the names of these things? Like the end of her sleeves. I didn't decide to make those here because couldn't find the right material. I didn't want to sculpt it out of epoxy. I wanted it to be an actual material that could move, and I couldn't really find anything small enough. So I just said, okay, well, let's leave her wrist cuffs. And the same thing you'll notice too is that gray or white kind of really, really thin fur that was around her sleeves, that's not there as well because it does get blown off. I could have left some little strands here and there, but I decided not to. So yeah, let's get another look. For some reason, my favorite thing about painting this figure was all the silver highlights I got to add to the belt, to the buckles, redoing them here on her boots. That was a lot of fun. Just seeing where the factory paint got it wrong and knowing that I could go through and fix it and make it look a lot better. It was very cool, and I had a lot of fun doing this. I eventually will do a lot more customs, but because of money and the huge just amount of games I'm playing right now, I'm still playing Mass Effect, I'm playing Borderlands, playing Guild Wars 2, and then WWE 13 and Assassin's Creed 3 are just around the corner, plus the big holiday games, Halo 4 and Call of Duty Black Ops. I know there's going to be some other ones in there that I miss, and yeah, I'm probably going to end up playing all of them, or playing with all of them? Okay, playing all of them. So the custom thing is going to kind of take a backseat to those and video game movies and doing some action figure reviews. So just kind of giving you guys a little update on what's going on with my channel. Alright, so this was Chase from BurnoutInc saying Happy Halloween, and we'll see you guys next time.